VeChain just posted numbers that make absolutely no sense. The DeFi sector explodes 800%, active addresses nearly double, transaction activity surges across the board, and yet, the gas token, it's bleeding out, down nearly 20%. According to Messari's latest quarterly report, VeChain's third quarter 2025 performance is the crypto equivalent of running a marathon while simultaneously having a heart attack. One part of the body is thriving, another part is literally dying. So, what's actually happening here? And more importantly, should you care? Welcome back to the channel. If you're into no-nonsense crypto analysis without the hype, you're in the right place. Do me a favor, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications because we're diving deep into VeChain's bizarrely contradictory quarter and you definitely don't want to miss what this means for the broader market. VeChain markets itself as the enterprise blockchain, supply chain tracking, luxury goods verification, carbon credits, the whole corporate package. It's got two tokens, VET, the main value token, and VTHO, which you burn to pay for transactions. Think of VTHO as the gasoline that keeps the VeChain engine running. Now, Messari just dropped their third quarter 2025 analysis, and folks, it's a mixed bag that would confuse even seasoned traders. VET's market cap sits at $1.9 billion, up a modest 2.2% from quarter two. The price barely moved, 2.2 cents versus 2.1 cents last quarter. VeChain ranks as the 57th largest crypto, which is respectable but not exactly moon territory. Here's where it gets weird. While VET treads water, VTHO, the gas token that's supposed to reflect network usage, absolutely tanks. Market cap drops 15.5% to $148.8 million. Price falls 18.5% to 0.16 cents. And daily fees? They're stuck at a pitiful $1,400 in dollar terms despite rising 21.7% in VTHO volume. The math isn't mathing, and that should raise some serious eyebrows. So, why is the gas token crashing while network activity is supposedly increasing? This is the million-dollar question, and honestly, the answer reveals something fascinating about tokenomics that most projects just don't want you to understand. VTHO's total supply expanded by 3.7% during the third quarter. Translation: inflation is eating the token alive. More supply dilutes value faster than demand can absorb it. It's kind of like printing money during an economic boom. Sure, you've got more bills in circulation, but each one is worth less. The network is generating more gas usage, but, yeah, the token holders are getting absolutely wrecked. Meanwhile, network metrics are painting a completely different picture. Active addresses surge 85.2% to 62,800 daily. New addresses jump 54.4% to 40,900 per day. Transaction clauses. VeChain's unique multifunction transaction system climbed 32.3% to 370,000 daily. By every measure of actual blockchain usage, VeChain is heating up. But here's the tension. If more people are using the network and burning more VTHO, why is VTHO hemorrhaging value? Either the market doesn't believe this activity is sustainable, or there's something fundamentally broken in the economic model. My expert take? It's probably both. VeChain's dual token system creates a disconnect where network growth doesn't automatically translate to token value appreciation. That's a design flaw, not a feature. Now we get to the bombshell that explains everything. DeFi. VeChain's total value locked absolutely detonates during the third quarter, surging 815.4% to $6.1 million. Yes, you heard that right. Over 800% growth in one quarter. But before you get too excited, let's zoom out for a second. $6 million in TVL is adorable compared to Ethereum's 60+ billion, or even mid-tier chains pulling in hundreds of millions. But hey, percentage growth matters, and this signals something important. Developers are finally building on VeChain. According to the Messari report, VeDelegate dominates the DeFi landscape with $4.8 million in TVL and a whopping 77.8% market share within VeChain's ecosystem. That's concerning concentration. One protocol controls nearly 4/5 of all DeFi value. If VeDelegate stumbles, the entire sector collapses. Not exactly the decentralization we signed up for. BetterSwap comes in second, surging 216% to $878,200. That's respectable growth, but honestly, it's still crumbs compared to what real DeFi chains are doing. TurtleSwap enters the scene with $136,000. Meanwhile, older players like VeChain's and VeDelegate decline, suggesting a natural ecosystem evolution where stronger protocols eat the weak. Average daily DEX volume hits $71,000. For context, that's what a medium-sized Ethereum NFT project does in an hour. But again, it's the growth trajectory that matters. If VeChain can maintain this momentum, we might see meaningful adoption within 12 to 18 months. Let me give you my expert opinion on what's actually happening here. VeChain is experiencing growing pains from transitioning from pure enterprise blockchain to a hybrid model that includes DeFi. The enterprise side generates consistent activity, hence the rising transaction clauses and active addresses, but enterprises don't speculate on tokens, they just use them. The DeFi explosion represents retail and developer interest finally catching up. That 800% TVL jump. That's smart money testing the waters before institutional money potentially follows. VeDelegate's dominance suggests one well-funded team is betting big on VeChain's infrastructure advantages, low fees, established enterprise partnerships, and regulatory compliance focus. But the VTHO collapse reveals the dark side of this growth. The dual token model that VeChain champions as innovative is actually creating value extraction problems. As network usage increases, VTHO inflation increases proportionally to keep fees low for enterprises. That's great for corporate users who hate volatility. It's terrible for token holders who want price appreciation. VT holders are essentially subsidizing enterprise adoption by accepting VTHO inflation that keeps corporate transaction costs low. You're paying for BMW and Walmart to track their supply chains. Feel good about that? Me neither. The carbon emissions data is hilarious in its own right. VeChain emitted just over 4 tons of CO2 during the third quarter, up almost 58%. For a chain that markets itself around sustainability and carbon credits, having your emissions spike alongside adoption is, well, peak irony. Sure, it's a drop in the bucket compared to Bitcoin, but honestly, the optics are terrible. EVM-based transfers account for over 81% of gas usage, with EVM activity rising about 51% to nearly 58 billion gas units daily. This tells us developers are building Ethereum-compatible applications on VeChain, which, makes sense. What does this mean for your portfolio? If you're holding VET, you've got a coin that's stable, but, let's be honest, kind of uninspiring. That 2.2% quarterly gain barely beats inflation. You're basically in a low volatility hold pattern, just waiting for either enterprise adoption to explode or DeFi to gain some serious traction. VTHO holders, you're getting crushed. That 18.5% quarterly drop is unsustainable if you're trying to preserve capital. Unless you're actively generating VTHO through staking and immediately dumping it, holding VTHO long-term looks like a losing strategy given the inflationary pressure. So, the smart play here is watching the DeFi metrics. If total value locked continues growing at triple-digit percentages and more protocols launch successfully, VET could see renewed interest as the base layer appreciating in value. But if that DeFi growth stalls, or VeDelegate implodes taking 78% of the ecosystem with it, we're back to square one with an enterprise chain that generates activity but not token value. My expert prediction: VeChain remains a sleeper pick for patient investors who believe enterprise blockchain adoption is inevitable. The third quarter numbers prove the infrastructure works and activity is growing, but expecting explosive price action in the short term? Probably not happening. This is a multi-year thesis, not a quick flip. Alright folks, that's the full breakdown of VeChain's contradictory third quarter. Enterprise activity up, DeFi exploding, but the gas token tanking because tokenomics are hard and dual token models create weird incentives. Classic crypto paradox. If you enjoyed this analysis, check out my other videos, and seriously, hit that subscribe button. We do deep dives like this weekly, and you're missing out if you're not plugged in. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Quick reminder, nothing in this video is financial advice. Crypto is volatile, risky, and you can lose everything. VeChain, VET, VTHO, all of it can go to zero tomorrow. Do your own research, never invest more than you can afford to lose, and for the love of Satoshi, don't make investment decisions based solely on YouTube videos. Stay smart out there.